Well, our beloveds, we will do a take 2 and see if our another likes this one better. This message is for the young people, specifically for those probably 25 and under, those who are making the decisions on what they wish to do with their lives. So we want you all to find your point of inspiration. What is it within your heart, within your mind, however you want to describe it? If you could choose one profession, one career, one adventure, what would that be? And let's start there. And you may have 3 specific aspects. I want to be an astronaut, a teacher, and a juggler, right? Tune into all 3 energies. And what is it about being an astronaut that inspires you? Is it the hard schooling, putting your life at risk, being out there to have to fix a spaceship if something goes awry? Or is it just because you want to leave this planet, right? If you want to be a teacher, why do you want to be a teacher? If you want to be a juggler, why do you want to be a juggler? What is it about each of those professions or lifestyles that calls you in? Dig into that piece of it, because oftentimes it's not being the astronaut that you want. It's the core component of what draws you towards that profession. Do you want to be famous? Well, there's lots of ways of being famous, right? So we encourage you all to really look at what it is that inspires you and why. Dig down deep into the reasons for that. Do you want to be an actress or an actor to be famous like the Kardashians, or do you want to be on Broadway doing Shakespeare? They're very different energies that pull you forward for each of those desires. So, this is the advice that we wish to give you, and it's pretty simple. Don't follow the advice of those individuals around you who are guiding you, who are miserable in their own lives because they've followed their own judgment and guidance, right? Find people who are actually content, pleased, motivated to do what they're doing, which generally are more of the entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs take the risk, the gamble, and they do things that are a bit more exciting because they're creating new adventures, new opportunities, new experiences. And then there are the people who like to work for those types of companies, the adventuresome types who recognize that they're going to have to be moving through their experience with lightness and looseness, because things change on a dime in a small entrepreneurial firm. You have to be a team player. You have to be willing to pick up the phones and scrub the toilets at times, right? And then there are those of you who may just want a state job where you clock in, you clock out, and after a certain number of years, you get a pension. And that is okay too, because you're still seeking the stability, but find something that inspires you where you will be motivated to go to work every day. Is it law enforcement because you want to create structure and keep people safe? Or is it law enforcement because you just want to beat people over the head because you like control? You see, different reasons for going into the same profession. So find that which inspires you to become the best version of you and to change the world in a way that matters for you or to you. Do you want to save the environment because you're sick and tired of how the old people just don't take this seriously? Well, then go into a profession where you can advocate for that. Make yourself a specialist in a particular area so you can not only advocate, but you can be a resource that others go to because of your expertise. If you want to be a good parent, a good mother or father, well, maybe educate yourself in the current standards of development within humans. Look at sociology, anthropology, psychology, social work classes. There are so many things out there that will help you to understand how the human development is really, really critical. And when you go through that, you may find one particular aspect, like our another. She's really focusing on what it is in the childhood years that creates an opportunity for abuse to occur on both sides, abuser as well as victim. Later on in years, if you don't understand what it is, then you can't fix it, right? You can say my car's going clunk, clunk, clunk. But if you don't know how to fix engines and you don't understand the intricate interconnectivity of the different components, just saying it's going clunk, clunk, clunk will not allow you to fix it. You'll have to go to somebody else. And that means you're not a specialist or an advocate in that area other than to say I know how to spend money so other people can fix my problems. So find those things that inspire you. If you want to be an artist, if you want to be a teacher, if you want to be a gardener, and remember, you can change. You're not locked into one particular approach for life. Just make certain to extent that you have versatility and redundancy, right? That if your first objective doesn't work out, that you have a backup plan where it all kind of logically fits together. If you want to be an NBA basketball player, but you don't make it to the big leagues, well, then you can create a camp for kids who want to become basketball players. You can become a coach for a program. There's so many different ways that you can take those skills that you have learned so with that it's not an all or none proposition. You're going to see how when you set your goal on just that 1/100th%, if that doesn't happen, you might really just get depressed and you might really be unhappy and lose your focus and your motivation in life. So keep moving and do what is healthy for you. Exercise, good eating, good sleep regimen, choosing who's in your life. Let's get rid of those people who make you feel bad about yourself, who are incredibly critical and judgmental and manipulative. And find people who are like-minded, who want to support you on your journey to your adventurous times, right? And then just become you. Many of you have become versions of you that are not you because the outside world has controlled you in some way. And as you leave high school and college and have the opportunity to move into your own expression of self, well, what does that look like? When your teachers are not telling you what you need to be doing and what's important and how to think. Once you have those basic skills, how do you wish to apply them to your own life so that you become authentically you? And remember that well-behaved men and women don't make history, unless, of course, you're a massive douche. So try it on. See what feels good and what doesn't, and make slow, logical, respectable choices, right? Start in your heart what feels good, what feels right. Then apply your brain and say, is this kind of reasonable, my thought? And if it's not, go back to the drawing boards. Invite other people into your journey, to invite you into their process of how to build your life. So if you were to go to a life coach, for example, and say, this is my dream, they can help you to kind of sequence your steps and tell you also where your life dreams are not really imaginable. Because if you can't imagine them, you can't bring them into fruition. So there are many different people like our another here who would love to invite people into their lives so that these skills of being an intuitive can be shared or gifted back to you so that you can make the most optimal choices and just be flexible and fluid. Because the fact is, until you're in your 30s and 40s, your brains aren't fully formed anyway. So allow yourself the creativity to change and to grow. You are not meant to be static individuals. You are meant to be a moving dance going through life, constantly changing your expression as you grow into that new and best version of you. And when you stumble and when you fall, you just get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going. There's no reward for being perfect. There's a reward for being creative and being you and expecting failures and mistakes and learning from them. If you get a divorce, learn from it. If you kill somebody, figure out where your anger and rage came from such that you thought that that was the appropriate solution. Unless it was self-defense, it's not the right solution, right? But stop judging yourself as being broken, but instead do the inner work so that you don't make that mistake again. That's what inner growth looks like. When you make a mistake, it is there to teach you, but if you refuse to acknowledge what you have done and to grow from it, well, you may very well make that same mistake again and again until you finally hit rock bottom, surrender to your journey, lean out to us and say, please help me to figure this out. That's it. You guys make it so much more difficult than need be, but it's really, really simple. Follow that point of inspiration. Learn to love yourselves more than anybody else, not from an egocentric way, but from a place of acceptance of, I am a good human being who is doing my best right now. And what can I do to be a loving, kind, creative human being while keeping myself safe from hurtful relationships? It is that simple. Figure out how you can make yourself feel safe within your own body, within your own world, within your own experience, and then dare to dream, and dare to dream big. Your vision, the young people's vision, is so much more powerful than the old people's because you still believe in magic and in your ability to change the world, whereas the old people have been hardened by life. And so at this point, we're not particularly interested in working with them. Other channels can work with them, through them, but we wish to work with the young people because our another is a teacher, and she really resonates with young people because of the innocence that you all still carry within your soul imprint. Even if you've made mistakes, it doesn't matter. You're still much more resilient at this age than you will be at an older age, where the burdens and responsibilities of life don't allow you to be quite so flippant about, I want to do what I want to do. So believe in yourself, believe in your path and in your journey, and in us to guide you. And so it is. Namaste.